Hello and welcome to Thought for July the 23rd. Our readings are 2 Samuel chapters 8 and 9, Jeremiah chapter 13 and Matthew chapter 24. Our thought is, they will gather his elect. Today we have the dramatic chapter in Matthew 24 to read about the climax Jesus said would come on the Jews and then on the world because of utter godlessness. Much of what we read has two time periods. First to the Jewish people because they had not recognised their Messiah and had killed him, and then on the world as a whole. The message of Jesus Christ to the Jews, after being proclaimed as a testimony to all the nations, verse 14, had, as Jesus predicted, become corrupted, for false Christs and false prophets will arise, to lead astray, if possible, even the elect, we read in verse 24. Just as there will be a great tribulation, and was, at the end of the Jewish nation, such as had not been from the beginning of the world, and if those days had not been cut short, no human being would be saved, we read in verse 21 and 22. And so it was at the end of the Jewish age, with the destruction of the temple by Rome in AD 70. Back to the words of Jesus, some wonderful words that, at that time, they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. He will send out his angels with a loud trumpet call, and they will gather his elect from the four winds. Verses 30 to 31. Out of the great tribulation. These words of Jesus are very familiar to most of us, maybe too familiar. Is there a possibility our hearts have grown dull? Compare chapter 13, verse 15, as we read last week. Surely all the present troubles in the Middle East, centered in and around God's regathered people, should be making us think and become as mentally prepared as possible. For, said Jesus, concerning that day and hour no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, not the Son, but the Father only. For as in those days before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying, they were unaware until the flood came, so will be the coming of the Son of Man. Verse 36 and 37. Our chapter ends with a telling parable about servants not being ready for the return of the master. And, says Jesus, blessed is the servant whom the master will find so doing, when the angels are sent forth to gather his elect. Are you a servant who has responded to the master's call? May you and I be in that situation and be found among those who are seen as faithful and wise. Well, thank you once again for joining us for Thought for the Day, where together we can open up the pages of God's Word, knowing that Word to be a lamp to our feet and a light to our path.